What's up, decent people? How are you today? Hopefully, everything's going well. Hopefully, you had a great week and all that other stuff that people always say to you when you start a new week and stuff like that. And for you all that's not like actually listening on Monday when this is actually going up, well, hope you're having a great day, whatever day it is. Hopefully, it's on Friday, so you had a weekend to look forward to. Anyway, today I want to talk about something that always confused me. I was doing my online dating thing, like I do. And when I say thing, what it really means is that I was swiping through profiles, basically. So my online dating thing just means I was swiping. You all know what it is, especially all of you all that's on online dating. But anyway, I came across one, and this is on Facebook dating that I'm talking about. One profile where the woman said that she was looking for something casual or friendship, something casual or friendship, because Facebook dating, for people that don't know, they kind of separate things into different categories as to what you're looking for. And two of the options are something casual, friendship. There's also long-term relationship. I think those are the only three. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that those are three that do exist. But in this woman's case, when I came across her profile, she said she was looking for something casual or friendship. And that's the other thing. You can list multiple things. I know a lot of people list everything: friendship, something casual, long term relationship, cover all the bases. Actually, I do that. And I remember a woman asked me once why I did that. And I told her, I was like, hey, shoot, ultimately, I want a long term relationship. I want to get married. But if I meet someone and she's like, hey, we can only be friends, but on these terms, I don't want to risk turning that down either. But that's neither here nor there. So often when I look at these profiles, that's the last thing that I look at, though, which is actually what they're looking for. And in hindsight, I guess that should be the first thing that I look at now that I'm thinking about it. But like many men, the first thing we look at, you guessed it, the pictures. And don't judge me. I say this is the first thing the men look at, but it's the first thing that we all look at. Women look at the men's pictures too. And I'm sure that's the first thing they look at when they go to a profile. I find it hard to believe that the women out there read a profile, fall in like after reading the profile, and then go back and look at the pictures. Nah, I'm not feeling that. I refuse to believe that. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, I look at the pictures, and if they pass the Michael test of attractiveness, and let me be clear that my test of attractiveness is in no way a determination of overall attractiveness. Everyone is attractive in their own way. You know, uh, the person just might not be attractive to me, which is fine. Like I always say, I don't believe in these constructs like ugly and all of that stuff. At the most, you might be societally unattractive, which means not necessarily meeting society's idea of what attractive should be. But God doesn't make ugly people, you know. Now, what you do with that after you are born and all of that stuff, that's on you. But God does not make ugly people. I do not look at anyone and say that person is ugly. Now, with that said, that same person I might not be physically attracted to, but who am I, you know? So I don't mean any of that in any kind of way. So please don't take it any kind of way and all that stuff. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, if I find a woman attractive, then I'll peruse her profile. And when I'm looking at her profile, I'm looking for, and when I say look at her profile, I'm talking about reading the intro opening paragraph to kind of learn a little bit more about her. So what I'm looking for when I go to the profile and I start reading is, one, I look for negativity. If you are on some don't do this using all caps, if you're this, don't contact me and all of that stuff, that sends out a negative alarm. And that means that I am not feeling that. So I am moving on regardless of what you look like in most cases. Second thing I'm looking for is positivity. Because shoot, if you actually come on and you're actually conversational in your intro, and understanding that you're not really talking to anyone, but you're talking to everyone at the same time. But you're not on some negative stuff. You're just on some, hey, let's see where this goes, just trying this or whatever it is. Basically, you don't come across as bitter. I know bitter is the buzzword and nobody likes to be thought of as bitter and all of that good stuff. But it is what it is. Sometimes you can like have a profile and it won't come off as the most positive thing in the world. So when I'm reading, the first thing I look for is pictures. Then I go to the profile and I'm looking for either negativity so I can dismiss or positivity so I can keep going. Then on a lesser level, I'm looking for like punctuation, grammar, stuff like that. And while I'll while I'll move past a profile if it's really negative, I'll just like make a mental note of bad grammar and punctuation. Those aren't like automatic disqualifications. And the reason that I don't disqualify someone for grammar and such like that is because I just feel like it shows that they were rushing through writing their profiles. And what I mean by that is they really didn't want to do a profile in the first place. They really didn't want to sign up for this online dating thing in the first place and all of that, as if anybody really does. But who am I once again? I have to say, I'm in a little bit of a cranky mood. I'm sorry, y'all. Actually, whatever. It is what it is. So that's the order that I look at things: looks, then profile negativity, then positivity, then grammar and punctuation. And again, if it's bad grammar, bad punctuation, my first thought is you just hated going through this so much that you just rushed through it, didn't bother using spell check, didn't bother reading it over. You just wanted to get it out there and get it out of the way so you can move on and try to forget about it. I honestly do believe that. Talk about the benefit of the doubt. Oh, yeah, I forgot about something though. As I was talking. Yeah, I looked to see if they had kids. And again, I don't know how I could have forgotten about that one. Uh, now, first and foremost, let me just say this. One of the flaws of, I think, all of these online dating sites, I don't really know if other sites, I've been on this Facebook thing for a minute and I haven't been on anything else for a minute. So I forget how the other ones handle this. But for Facebook dating, it's as simple as, do you have kids or do you not have kids? And so basically you're kind of playing Russian roulette, because you could be talking to a woman with one kid or you can be talking to a woman with six kids. And the only way you're going to find that out is if you engage with her and find out. And then when you find out that she has six kids, then it's like, oh man, then what do? You have to go through that process of trying to, saying, hey, you're cool, but I'm not really into you like that, blah, blah, blah. So that's that with that. That's that with that. And now that I'm thinking about it, I need to start looking at location, because another thing about Facebook dating, and this wasn't meant to be about Facebook dating, but it seems like I'm talking about Facebook dating a lot. But the thing about it is, it's starting to show me a lot of people that are out of town. I'm getting to see a lot of profiles from people in Alabama and Charlotte, especially Charlotte. I don't know what's going on in Charlotte, but it's a whole lot of something. And for people that don't know, I'm in Atlanta, so Charlotte is like a 3-hour drive, and that's 3 hours on a good day. Shoot, some days just getting out of Atlanta can take 3 hours by itself, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm not trying to drive to Charlotte to see anybody. I got hooked up with a woman. She lives in Gulfport, Mississippi. It's like, what am I going to do with that? I mean, I don't even know what Gulfport, Mississippi is. Barely know what Mississippi is. Anyway, that's not the point either. Sorry about that. Anyway, the point in all of this is, what they're looking for relationship wise isn't something that I even bother to look at. And I'm talking about, again, how they list what they want: something casual, friendship, long term relationship. And it's funny because, as someone who's looking for a long term relationship, it's weird that I don't even think about that. How stupid am I for thinking that everybody on these joints are looking for a relationship? I thought Tinder was the place that people went to if they were looking for something quote unquote casual or quote unquote friendship. Even though I spent time on Tinder back in the day, and I have a weird Tinder story. Boy, I tell you what, I thought she was trying to get your boy jumped, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. Well, I mean, I have a couple seconds. Basically, uh, met a woman. We decided to meet downtown somewhere, and actually it wasn't even downtown. For people that live in Atlanta, it was by Turner Field, which is where Georgia State Stadium is now, which is not downtown. It's kind of like they took a bad neighborhood, they gentrified it and tried to build up by putting a stadium there. But after they put the stadium there, they didn't do any of the other promised things that they were going to do. So you can just be walking along and take a wrong turn, and next thing you know, you have no idea where you are. So I met this woman on Tinder. She wanted to meet me down at a bar around the corner from said stadium. So I'm like, cool. I go anywhere. I mean, shoot. I flew out to San Francisco, Oakland to meet a woman that I met on Match one time. Never met her in person. That was the first time. How crazy am I? But that mess worked out well to my benefit. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So I go to meet the woman. First of all, I get there, she's not there. I'm waiting. And then finally I decide, yo, it's been too long. I'm going to leave. And so actually I was hungry. So I ordered something, I ate it, and she still hadn't shown up by the time I was done eating. So as I'm walking out the door, there's a woman standing outside talking to the bouncer and all of these people. And she's like, yo, you're Michael. And I'm like, yeah, who are you? Which is another bad sign, the fact that I didn't recognize her. She says, hey, I'm so and so, whatever her name was at the time. So I'm like, all right, I'm bouncing. And she's like, nah, I saw you in there, but you were eating. So I just stood out here and talked to my people. Now that is strange, but it is what it is. So I'm like, yeah, cool, but I'm still gonna bounce. And she's like, oh man, come on now. You don't want to talk or anything like that. So I'm like, all right, man, let's walk and talk. Obviously, I've already eaten, so I'm not hungry. So yeah, I'll walk with you. So we started walking and talking, and the conversation was so weird because she's telling me about her badass kids and all of this stuff. And that's neither here nor there. And next thing you know, we're turning down these streets, and I have no clue where we are. It is like pitch black. And I'm like, what the fuck are we? And she's like, we're around the corner, the bar is right there. So I'm literally thinking that this chick is trying to get me jumped. Like she's got this plan, some dudes gonna come and they gonna like basically run me. So some dudes are approaching us. And so I'm walking, but I'm conscious of what's going on. So I'm watching her, I'm watching them. So they cool. They just walk by, they just minding their business. So afterward, she looks at me and she's like, you were nervous, weren't you? I was like, nah, I was aware. And she was like, don't worry about it. You with me. I'm like, the fuck? So long story short, we never talked again for so many different reasons. And I don't even know if that story was worth telling, but I don't know. It just reminded me of Tinder, and that was the most interesting Tinder date that I ever had. Definitely didn't get any of the things that people claim to get by being on Tinder. But sorry about that. I got sidetracked. But the point is, like I said, or I don't know if I said it or not, but the point I was making was that I've spent time on Tinder, and I'm surprised at the amount of people that were actually looking for relationships that I met. And people that are on Tinder saying, if you're just looking for a hookup, don't contact me. But you're on Tinder. But anyway, I happened to catch I happened to catch somebody's profile, and we're back to Facebook dating. And the point of this whole thing is I happened to catch somebody's profile, and she listed that she was only looking for something casual, quote unquote, or quote unquote friendship. After seeing that, I started to pay more attention to that. And on more and more profiles, I was seeing that. And like I said, a lot of people are looking for quote unquote something casual or quote unquote friendship. It's a lot more common than I ever thought. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like that was the majority or anything like that. of the women that I came across, most of them were looking for relationships, but it was more important to than I thought. It was more popular an option or those two options than I thought. So that leads me as a man to the obvious question that I need help from the ladies on. What does something casual or friendship mean? On a guy's profile, I know exactly what it means. It means that your expectations match what I thought people on Tinder were looking for. Basically, that you're trying to fuck. If a guy listed he's looking for something casual or friendship, it means sex. But I'm curious as to what it means when a woman says it. I actually asked a few women, and one woman that I asked, she said that it meant that she just wanted to take it slow, and if it grew into something, then it grew into something. So I dug a little bit deeper and asked, so as a guy, that's what I am, how do I interpret that? Like, how much investment does that mean that I should put into this? And I guess those were stupid questions because she didn't respond and I never heard from her again. Another woman that I asked, she didn't respond to the question at all. I guess she knew that stupid follow-up questions were coming after that. Okay. But I thought they were fair questions. I mean, you're on an online dating site. So what does dating look like if you're looking for something casual or friendship? Because I've never had a woman tell me that she was only looking for sex. Even in even in the one night stands that I've had, the women didn't tell me that that's what they were looking for. So if you get offended if I ask if you're only looking for sex, I actually asked that question before too, and that didn't go well at all either. So if you get offended that I'm asking if you're only looking for sex and you won't tell me that you're looking for sex, then I think my quote unquote stupid questions aren't so stupid after all. So I asked them again. As a guy, when meeting a woman that only lists that they're looking for something casual or friendship, how should I interpret that? And how much investment does that mean that I should put into that? Because I don't want to be spending all this kind of money and stuff to take you out on dates, initiating phone calls, initiating outings, and all of that. If there's no tangible benefit to any of it, if it's really friendship in like the traditional sense where you're my friend, I'm not trying to find out on an online dating site. I got friends for that. Now, if you want sex or something like that, that's different. I mean, I don't just want to assume that quote unquote maybe this casual friendship will lead to sex eventually. I mean, shoot, am I in a friend zone or what? I'm so confused. Even for the woman that wants to take it slow, it's not to say that you should rush into marriage, but if you want to take it so slow that you don't even want to list that you want a relationship, then that's really slow, which sounds like I need to invest a ton of time convincing you that you want something that you might not want. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. I don't know. I've been told that I do that a time or two. But I really want but I really want to know. And I think that's something that other men want to know too. Because I hear tons of women tell me that they just want men to be upfront and honest about their intentions. They tell me that if we're upfront and honest as men, that maybe they'll want the same thing. Personally, I hadn't found that to work for me, but maybe other guys have, just not any of the guys that I know. I mean, as a matter of fact, I ain't come across too many of my friends that have met a woman, said to her, "I'm just looking for sex," and the woman said, "Yeah, me too. Let's do this." Even in the club days, if it ended that way, it wasn't because the dude was upfront and honest in that way. So if women say that men should be honest about their intentions, then women should be upfront and being able to explain what casual friendship means. Does it mean I actually do want a friendship, but I want you to convince me of it? Does it mean I actually do want sex, but only after you prove yourself worthy? Or does it mean I'm just experimenting with all of this for the book that I'm writing. I've actually talked to women doing that were doing or have done that last one, basically just getting all of this information just so they can like use it as content in some other form, one form or another. And I'm talking about someone who's collecting data. Uh, I'm not talking about someone who's collecting data while looking for love. That's different. I'm talking about someone who is only dating uh, just to collect data to have something to sell. Like they have no interest in finding the one, they just want content. I had a woman actually that reached out to me about being on the show, and her claim to fame was that she had 100 first dates. Now, she had no interest in any of these guys. She was literally doing it just for content because that's what I asked her. And when I asked her, like I said, she said no. So I turned down that request because I thought it sounded cruel. I don't know. To get someone invested that might actually be interested in finding love, and if they actually took you out on a date, they definitely had interest, and you probably had a great personality and all of this and really drew them in only to ghost them. Or what do you tell them after they like fall for you or whatever? Now it's one date, so it's not the end of the world, but still it's cruel. So what do you tell them? Is it like, do you ghost them? That's foul. Do you tell them, oh, I'm writing a book, I was just using you for content? That's foul. Or do you just do the whole, I'm not really into you, which is foul because it's under false pretense? It's all foul. Yeah, so I had to turn that one down. And while there are women that think that men are impervious to pain, out of those 100 guys that she went out with for content, like I said earlier, I'm sure that more than a couple guys were hurt, you know, in the making of whatever she was promoting. But yeah, I couldn't have her on, not to talk about that. The point is that all we all need to be upfront about what we're looking for and specific about those terms and what they mean when we use them. What does casual friendship mean to that guy that's interested? Shoot, for that matter, what does long-term relationship mean to the guy that's interested? It's only fair to ask. And I'm still confused about it. I know this much though. When ladies, when you go to a guy's profile and it features 17 shirtless pics or 17 pictures of his car, that should pretty much tell you the type of relationship you're getting into. So, ladies, just give us that same courtesy. I don't know what the equivalent is of 17 shirtless pictures, even though if you posted 17 shirtless pictures, you probably get kicked off the site, but not because I would tell. But ladies, you need to find the equivalent of 17 shirtless pictures or 17 pictures of your car. So you'll let a guy know that when you're looking for friendship or chatting, that's another one. Chatting. Why the fuck you want to spend time talking? Anyway, chatting, casual friendship. You need to go into a little bit more detail as to what that means. Or at the least, don't get mad at me if I ask you to clarify. And here's the funny thing about it, ladies, you assume too much about us guys, way too much us guys. So, in one sense, women will talk about how stupid we are. You know, men are just stupid. You know, men are just this and that. And I don't even disagree with that. But you can't say in one sentence that we're stupid and all of that, and then in the next sentence talk about how you expect us to read minds and all of that stuff. Stupid people can't read minds. So I'll close by saying, ladies, do us a favor, throw us a bone, help us out, help me out. I need help because I do not know what that means. I tell you what, yeah, I'm just looking for friendship. I'm just looking for a casual relationship. Okay. I don't know. But once again, it might explain why I'm single. That's all right. I'm finding my soulmate. Shoot, she coming. I don't know where she is, but she's around here somewhere. But with all of that said, I don't really have any stories about anybody that died or anything like that. I don't have any stories about anybody getting divorced after a long time. Just be thankful for that. Yeah. It's like the only thing that I have is like, shoot, I don't know. What's that do? I don't know. All I've been seeing all day is Alec Baldwin shooting somebody with a supposed been a prop gun. I don't even know why they have real guns with real bullets there in the first place. I don't know. I don't know. Why I'm even going into that. That has nothing to do with dating. Reggie, what's up, man? Come and say goodbye to the people. Say goodbye to the people. Nothing. Again. All right, I'll say goodbye to Reggie. I'll say goodbye for Reggie and goodbye to you all. Thank you all for coming. Send me an email at michael@datingwhileadulting.com. Go to datingwhileadulting.com. Download the podcast. Tell 50 friends to tell 50 friends. Goodbye.